We're back.
Look at us, you guys. We're back.
Hi, you guys. We've missed you.
It was a bit of a hiatus, and we're here with the 100th episode. Needed to get some, just situate some things in life, and here we are.
And we are so happy to be back. We've missed you, and
grew my hair out while we were gone.
We were away for a long time.
So long. My hair is so long, so we took a long time.
Yeah, that was the joke. Yeah.
Came in quick.
Just like Yuli.
Yeah.
Yep.
We love to see it. My hair is darker because I'm rebranding as edgy, and
we've gone through a lot of changes in the past 2 weeks. Is that how much time we took off?
I think it was 2 or 3. Yeah.
I got remedicated, which was great.
Yeah.
Thank God. I needed to get back on. I realized another reason I've been so tortured recently is because, I went through the fucking whole egg donation process, shot up hormones, got off of my SSRIs. And then I was like, oh, I bet a lot of these things, well, not a lot of things, but things could be helped a bit if I got back on medication. So we're remedicated, which is nice, which is probably why I sound kind of flat too. Lee took back over my Instagram. I was on it for like 3 days, had to get off, started having a mental breakdown. Lee's back on, and that's it. I am not touching social media.
And honestly, with Love and Light, you shouldn't right now.
No, and I'm not on the Tea Time account either. So everything is not being run by me because...
No, if you've been getting a message on Tea Time, it has been from me.
Mm-hmm.
And...
because I'm an adult that has no...
well, let's get you through EMDR therapy, and then you can get back on.
I did.
Impulse control.
Impulse control. There we go. I did impulse control on social media, so we're off, and it's good for my mental health. I think. I don't know. Starting EMDR therapy Wednesday. Tomorrow.
Oh, cute.
Will be my first session, which is
okay. So next week we'll have an update.
Yeah, I'll be reporting back on my experience with EMDR. I was talking to my regular therapist yesterday, and she was saying that it came from working with soldiers after war, soldiers with PTSD is how they discovered the benefits of EMDR.
Well, from soldiers to now
with heavy PTSD. So
now the Insta girlies, everyone's getting it.
Right? Yeah,
kind of an equal playing field.
You could say that
that's
been through a battle.
I've basically been through a battle.
She's kind of still in it, low key. I'm surprised,
it's got a lot of things in my life that I realize need to be worked out, and we're gonna start really unpacking it all now. But I've heard though that it's like very taxing, like that it can be really bad before it gets better. So that's what I've heard.
Yeah, well, you'll tell us your experience, and we love to see it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm so happy that we get to record again and that we get to be back. I have missed doing this. And I just want to say that I am really proud of you. For those, if you don't know, Gabby and I do live together. And I just want to say that I am really proud of you for, getting yourself in a cute outfit and getting in the studio. And we love to see it. And Lee,
and growing my hair out.
I'm really proud of you for always wearing the same black shirt and black jeans and black shoes with little blue tongues.
As if there's anything that Lee is, it's consistent.
Yeah, here's the thing. This man loves himself a pattern. He said he loves a pattern and a routine, and so help him God if he breaks it.
Never.
Let's see. What's been new with me? Okay. It has now been a little over 2 months since my breakup, and at first I think I was trying to kind of overcompensate by being like, yeah, I'm okay, everything's all good. But I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I thought I was gonna have kind of like a nice fun summer, and this was a summer filled with facing myself and kind of what you were saying. I was empathizing with having to face things that I've put off for 30 years and amassed over the last 30 years. And this breakup, it was usually, I feel like when I go through breakups, I go through really tumultuous, wild ones. And it wasn't the case. It was very calm. But what was left in the rubble of that relationship was a lot of my demons that kind of resurfaced. And I was like, I'm going to have to deal with this for the rest of my life unless I just sit down and force myself to face it. And the summer, it was more of just an introspective summer as we're now coming to a close. And I feel like usually after a breakup, I'm at least in my eyes, I'm like, oh, I'm like funny. I'm like riding this like
Yeah.
energetic wave creatively. And this is
Mhm.
the first time I genuinely did not feel that at all. This summer, I felt some of my lowest creatively. And I was even wondering, I'm like, should I get offline? Like, I don't know, but not necessarily because I was like stalking or like, you know, doing anything like unhealthy. It was necessary. It was just like, I didn't, I felt just like lost, like creatively and spiritually. And that was honestly reflected during my show. So honestly, if you've seen me this summer, you know, it was hard. I was not gonna lie, it was really hard. And I feel like every time I was getting on stage, it was a fight. It was
Well,
hard.
social we were talking yesterday. We were talking yesterday about how like when people are writing there not everybody, but like there is a history of people who when they're like focusing on like writing shows or working on a project, they get off of social media because social
Yes.
media can become such like a distracting crutch. And I think that's like also the benefit of getting offline is that I find myself often like I don't have anything right now to turn to except for TikTok, but like TikTok doesn't do to me like what Instagram does. For some reason, like it's
Well, because
way
Instagram,
easier to put down.
well, I feel like it's because with Instagram, you're seeing a bunch of people that you know, and you're kind of like
Yeah.
connected into this hub. It's like a
Yeah.
chaotic Facebook, if you will.
It is, and
Whereas TikTok is a bunch of strangers.
and there's like more instant gratification with Instagram because it's like people can message you, you can see who's watching you, da 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 da. And TikTok, it's kind of like you do it, you put it away, and then like
Mhm.
I'll get sucked into like, watching things. And then after a couple of minutes, I'm like, okay, I'm good. But I've been kind of like sitting around just like twiddling my fucking thumbs with things because I'm like, okay, like I need to dive into like doing some actual like self exploration and not having the distraction of social media can really be beneficial for your, I don't know, creativity and
100%. 100%. I also feel, okay, tell me if this resonates with you, but I feel like part of the reason why I was having a really hard summer creatively was because I was in a lot of like self-pity. And I felt like I feel like sometimes when I get into relationships, I like use that relationship as like a talisman of my self-worth. And I'm like, okay, look, like because I'm in a relationship, I'm wanted. And like even if it's not a good relationship, I'm like, well, at least I'm in one. And it's like there's proof that someone wants me. And then when I was first getting single over like in back in June or whatever, I kind of was I knew I made the right choice to walk away from that, but then I was just feeling like, well, I felt like unsteady standing on my own, and my low self esteem was echoing quite loudly through my sets, and I feel like I wasn't writing as hard as I should have been. I wasn't like showing. I wasn't putting in the work that I should have been putting in because I was like leading with so much like pity and low self esteem.
well, and I think that's like a very common thread in, in our relationships, in our romantic relationships, is that we get into them and whether or not they are good, it is this thing that we kind of base our self-worth off of where it's like, well, look, I have this person who like wants me. I think that's a very common thread in like the human race, and which is why we like stick things out for maybe too long or, like saddle up with maybe not the best people for us because it does like, we're human and our biggest thing is like relationships. We crave relationships. We're built
And
for love.
community, and yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
we're
And I
built
feel
for
like
it.
I think love also is something that a lot of us chase, but I think also sometimes we can be using other things as a form of love. But like basically, I think we can get confused as to what we're actually exhibiting and giving.
Well, it's difficult because so many of us, as I like realize, like so many of us lack like the appropriate amount of self love, which is why our relationships end up so fucking. Mm,
It's a like we were saying in my room the other day, it's a mirror. You're like your partner, I feel like, not saying that you have to be completely healed or perfect to be in a relationship. I don't believe in that, but I do believe that your partner for the most part is kind of like a marker as to like how you feel about
I
yourself.
think that because I also think that in relationships we see a lot of the work that we have to do in relationships because you can't see a lot of the work that you have to do when you're by yourself. You can see a lot of your own self work, but then when we get even friendships and stuff is like friendships like even reflect to you like, oh, this is the way that I need to learn how to be more compassionate or a better listener, or like if I want to like we learn how to take care of each other through relationships, romantic, friends, family, blah, blah, blah. And it's I don't know. It's difficult to find. I don't know. I don't know. But there's a lot of us, I think, don't know how to love because we're not really taught
No,
in our culture how to love.
But also you're taught like through how you're growing up. That's like you're shown it. So if you're not shown a healthy example, I don't think you're doomed to permanently repeat it, but you definitely are set up to fail in a sense, unless you like react with contrary action to some of those like unhealthy or maybe like unfavorable things.
Which is something we're not taught.
I think what we are taught is how to obsess.
And be individualistic and get what we want.
And put love as your sorry, not your higher power, but you put another person's validation as your higher power.
Either that or what this person can do for me.
Yeah.
And how this person makes me feel rather than how we feel together. Now
really
I think
self-centered, yeah.
Now I think that this is also this is really stripped away when you do meet like the right person. Like I truly believe that all kind of melts away when you meet the right person, and that's why people like actually like there is still love and solid marriage and concrete family units, because when that happens between two people, it just makes sense and it like clicks all these insecurities kind of off. And it's like, and then they build back up over time, but there is a connection that you can form that with the right person.
Well, it's all an attachment theory too, you know? Like I was just listening to a fucking podcast about with the author of the book Attached, and they were getting all into, attachment theory and how, what's secure, anxious, and what's the other one? Avoidant. Yeah. It's all that too. All of our relationships are attachment.
It's attachment, but also it's being an acceptance. And like, I think I talked about this like back, like when this first happened a few months ago, but like specifically speaking from my own experience, like everything that drove that relationship to end, and all of my other relationships or experiences I've had with people, I have all of the information that is applicable at the end that I had on like the first, second, third date. But it's like my inability to take someone for who they are, and like, which is something I've been like really practicing and like working on through my program. But like, I think that's where like a lot of problems arise in relationships when like you start dating a fantasy you're creating or dating someone's potential. That's not reality.
Just like what so many again, like
which like, oh, I'm a romantic. It's like, no, you mental babe.
That's like, it's like also like the classic fucking movie trope. Like we're all just kind of fed this idea of like, this is what romance should look like.
Yeah.
And it's we're just like born into thinking like the Disney thing,
I think that a lot of us fall into that for sure.
Big time. I just remember being like so little and like being in constant fantasy of like soulmates and like being obsessed with like, crushes and blah blah blah. Cause I was like, this is the person for me. And
but to bring it back, like all it really is acceptance, and kind of what I was saying is like when you meet the right person is when kind of all your life experience leads you toward like accepting somebody for truly who they are.
But you have to be in a place though where you can do that too.
And that's my sponsor said something so beautiful the other day, because we were talking about self-esteem, and we were talking about like, we haven't been working together for like, too long, but we were talking about, like, we're comparing and contrasting like where I am now from like when I started step 1 to now going into step 3 and all of this stuff. And she was just like, you build self-esteem by doing things that are worthy of pouring into yourself. I feel like I'm butchering it, but basically she was saying you get your self-esteem by doing things that are good for yourself and that are esteem boosting.
Esteemable acts.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. I'm pretty sure she said that. But even though I butchered the message, the takeaway was there. But she was saying that like, when you truly do love yourself, that's when you're able to take care of yourself. Like not just by like being healthy in certain regards, but it's also like how you communicate with your friends, how you communicate when you're upset, like the people you choose to allow in your inner circle. Like these are all markers of your self-esteem, like the people you date. And it was like a very beautiful conversation. But yeah, I don't know. So that was my little summer of fun on a little journey. And honey, every single day we're just growing and we're learning. And that's also why I do just love this podcast so much, because I like that even though sometimes this digital footprint is haunted, and that's on incest, but I do think that it's kind of like cool to like kind of have these digital markers of like where we are. It's like almost like a little verbal scrapbook, if you
I'll
will.
tell you what, when I look back at what even like it's crazy having the marker of even like what you looked like a year ago, because I'll watch our clips, from like a year ago. I'm like, what? It just looks so different. The looks are like
Totally.
100% fucking different.
Well, it's so funny. Like I was like scrolling TikTok the other day, and then one of our really old clips, like from when we first started this, popped up, and I cringed a little just because I was like looking at the way that I like was carrying myself, and I was just like, oh, like I can like just see where I was just reminded as well as where I mentally was at that time, and even physically, I was just like, ooh, it kind of just made me cringe for a little bit, but then I had to like counter that with love, and I was like, okay, but you know what? Look at how far I've come now, and I'm still on a process of growing, and to be human is to be cringe.
And we're almost at 2 years now. So
which is
2
crazy.
years ago was,
2 years ago was a long time.
Yeah.
That's like full pandemic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I know, so wild.
Okay.
But okay, this is our 100th episode.
I know. Sorry to come in with a fucking 45 minutes on attachment theory and love, but here we are.
I'm not sorry, honey. We took a few weeks off. We had to address that.
That's true.
But the theme of today's episode is unhinged.
Do you guys have unhinged stories?
Oh, do I ever?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have one.
It kind of coincides with what we were just,
doesn't it?
Yeah, honey, it very much is. But so I have a story. It kind of coincides with what we were just talking about. But like I just said, I was having a bit of a rough summer. Okay. And over the past like few weeks, my social media has been kind of taking off a little bit. So I've been getting some cool opportunities, which has been like very lovely. So I got this opportunity to be a part of a stand-up taping for PBS. And it's with a comic that I really respect, and some friends were a part of it, and like a great audience, okay, amazing. Just so happens that on the day of the taping, I am wallowing and I am not feeling the best. And I'm also feeling pretty nervous. Now, a fun new little tick that I picked up was whenever I feel really nervous to the point of, where I'm very rattled, I start self-sabotaging. How does that look? Well, I'll tell you. So the taping starts, everything's all good. You can kind of tell before you get on stage, kind of like how the set's going to go.
Is there going to be footage of this?
100%. Well, just, okay. So again, being taped for PBS, and you can kind of tell how the set's going to go energetically, but I'm trying to like fight through that, trying to push through, trying to have good, nice energy. And then I get on stage, and there's reps in the audience. Okay. And instead of doing my set, I decide to do, again, it's for PBS. I decide to just take a big old metaphorical revolver and shoot myself in the foot and do the most graphic, obscene, and harrowing incest jokes unfortunately anyone's ever heard. My friend's fiance was sitting in the front row and looking at me like I hit myself in the head with a hammer, like this. And it was so whack. It was so, and like the comic, like it was just so, and then at one point I go,
I wish I was there so
honestly,
badly.
Gabby, I wish you were too.
I wish.
And in my head, I'm going, shut the fuck up, Harper-Rose. Shut the fuck up. And I'm just like, don't. And then the next thing that's like, when I walked off stage, I was telling you this the night after, and I was like, when I walked off stage, I literally I felt like I was white as a ghost because they're not going to be able to use that footage now. Like now I just cut myself out of that. So that was cool. And as I was
Not
walking,
for PBS.
not
too.
for PB fucking us. So that's great. But as I was walking off stage, I was thinking there is not a member of that audience, my friend's fiance included, that is not going to think that I willingly, basically they're all going to assume that I like actually want to slurp and slobber on my dad's cum. Like they're going to think that I personally request him to fill me up a hot one and just knock it down. That it was so unhinged and humiliating. And like, it was just me being essentially what it was is like too afraid to like actually try.
Yeah.
So then I was like, oh, okay. Like whatever. And I just started going off. And I did a similar thing in New York when I opened for my bestie, Bianca Cristoval. I did whack ass incest jokes. And at first I was getting mad. Like someone like wrote into the podcast, like, whoa, that was crazy. I was like, oh, fuck you. And then I'm like, you know what? No, fuck me. Like 1 or 2 is okay. But like, if you only have 10 minutes, 15 minutes, I don't need to be doing 15 about like taking, like running train on my family. Yes, Gabby, it was like self-sabotage to the max. And I'm like, I need to stop.
What is the obsession with incest?
For me, it's like, oh God. Well, I obviously you and I have a similar thing where we like to get rises out of people.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Like I like to say the most unhinged things, but it's like my mind goes to 3 things and it's like incest, fucking. I guess they're both, I don't know. That's it.
Well, I was just kind of like,
and killing myself. Like those are like the 3 things.
No, and then I think I said, I was like, if I was taken out by a gun right now, I wouldn't care.
That's yeah.
And that's on a Sesame Street lead-in.
Yeah, Arthur's on, and then there's like me being like, I'm dripping with my mom's cum. It's like, just stop.
Yeah. I wish a school shooter would come in here right now and fucking kill all of us. That's like
right, guys.
Yeah,
and then I'll go start scissoring.
Yeah, and then I hope they our dead bodies, right, guys? Like that's.
No, it was illuminating.
Isn't it funny? Like we say that kind of shit, then you expect people to like get on board and be like, for sure. And then you like step back and you're like, that was really insane.
No, and I was listening to these sets and I'm just like, where, like, and I have been writing actual jokes that like I stand by and I believe in. Now, here's the thing. I do believe in a little incest joke here and there
100%,
because it's fucking funny. And if you don't think it's funny, then you're ugly. And I can't help you with that.
It's true.
And boring. So prayers up to you. But no, it doesn't need to be the entire side. Like, and it's not just like that I'm like talking about raunchy ass shit. It's that I'm like being so fucking aggro about it. Like, oh, you don't fucking like that? It's like, yeah, of course they don't. Because you're beating them over the head. So that's me being unhinged. But we're living and we're learning. Yeah. And I finally, after 2.5 months, just had a set where I'm really proud of. And I feel like my energy is starting to be like aligned again with something that I am comfortable standing by. So, honey, prayers up to me.
Ebbs and flows. We go through waves. Waves.
What's something unhinged?
Literally, I've talked about so much of it on this shit. Like when I tried to fight my ex-boyfriend at the Improv when I was drunk.
Wait, I forgot about that.
Craig. I like tried to fight him after we broke up. I tried to fight him. And then I'm like thinking about, my social media is unhinged. Like every time, that's also why I have to be off right now. But I remember like, what was unhinged? When I found out that one of my exes, Greg, when he started dating somebody, it was her birthday. And I like kind of knew her. So I like DM'd her happy birthday, full knowing that she was dating him, which was like not that bad, but it was unhinged because I knew what I was doing. And then like an hour later, I like went online and like made a whole thing talking shit about them and posted it. And all of their friends saw it. So that was unhinged.
Okay, that is unhinged. And not the happy birthday and then you just and like then going online, assassinating.
And I did. And then I like went online and just like fucking like was just like, fuck that, fuck her, fuck him. And then they all unfollowed me and everybody stopped being my friend after that. And like that was unhinged behavior. But I've done other things.
P?
Oh, I feel like I should save mine for Patreon.
Okay. Period. So, okay, I love it when Lee gets crazy on
so get over to Patreon, guys, because that's where it is.
Because I feel like, will immediately get demonetized.
I mean, we already said being corpses on here. So.
Honestly, at this point, we're like trying, but that's okay. Don't worry, because I found out that my Instagram is literally on like so in trouble. There's like 6 posts that they're like flagging right now, and I'm like, just stay calm.
Unhinged.
Let's stay playful together.
I'm sure that also as we read, more things will come to mind.
Period. Okay, do you want to start us?
Yeah, this one made me sad, but it's also really insane.
I missed this podcast. Okay, let's go.
All right. Fuck, dude. My story is pretty bad. Yeah, it is. My husband and I were together for 14 years. We have children, a beautiful home, etc., etc. We had a difficult marriage, some instances of physical abuse and loads of emotional abuse and cheating. He had severe PTSD and treated that with alcohol. So I blamed his behavior on that and stuck around.
Okay.
I grew up in a very abusive home. So in a sad way, it felt normal to me. It's a tale as old as time.
Mm-hmm.
However, in the past year, things had really been improving and I felt excited about the future. Several months ago, he got sick and went to the hospital. He never left. Within 9 weeks, he was dead of leukemia at 40. I spent every day in the hospital with him at his side so he would never feel alone. I kept his family in the loop, took care of everything at home. I was crushed when he passed, but the warm blanket on my grief was how much better our marriage had been before he passed. Or so I thought.
No. No. Okay, go.
Okay. Not even 48 hours after he died, a lady shows up at my door to tell me in front of my kids
Okay.
that my husband led a double life with her.
Bitch, who is okay? Remember we were talking about harmful amends? What do you need to do that?
Well,
What
let's see why she needed to do that.
But really quick, if y'all were the wife, like the OG wife,
Mhm.
would you want to know about the side wife?
The second family.
Yeah, the second fam.
I don't know. I mean, let's see. Let's unpack after we get through the story.
Really? Okay. Because
Yeah.
I'm going no.
Well, I don't know. So let's see. Okay. So she shows up. She's a fugly pill addict with no interests, hobbies, or personality.
Okay, drag her.
Just a well filled with desperation and low self-esteem. But that wasn't all of it. For weeks, every day, I found something terrifying. I legit had no idea who I was married to, cataloging all of his affairs on hard drives like a serial killer.
No!
Thousands of women.
Oh my God, is he like a fucking killer?
All protected, even while I was pregnant. I found he was secretly taking photos of my friends when they were in our home and bending over.
Oh.
He was...
And he kept everything.
14 years of marriage.
She's kind of the man.
Shut the fuck up.
Ew! Okay, now you're getting a new fucking idol, and I'm getting like a 13th fucking reason. Okay.
So he was fucking his awful ex-wife who had abused our daughter so badly. That's why she's my daughter. We got custody of her when she was little because of the atrocious conditions.
Oh, so this isn't her biological daughter.
I guess not. He was also fucking 2 of his ex's sisters.
I'm sorry, my brain legit just like shut down. Can you read that one more time?
He was fucking his ex's sisters, 2 of his ex's sisters. Okay.
Now talk about being put down with a gun.
Yeah. That is all merely the tip of the iceberg of what I found.
No.
Some other things include
Okay.
plotting to give me an STD,
What?
bringing women into our home while my kids slept, sending photos and videos of our kids to women so they would think he's a good dad while telling them I'm an alcoholic. I barely drink. I am left being a single mom of 2 with 0 help. None of our families live in our city. He lied about our savings and 401k, so I have very little. I had given up my career to raise our kids. He was the breadwinner, so I can't even make enough to pay our mortgage. I was gaslit for 14 years. I don't know what was real. Oh my God, dude, this is so heavy. My kids feel like they don't know their dad. I don't know who I can trust or if I'll ever be able to be in a serious relationship again. I don't know how I'll keep our home. I can't even grieve properly because I hate him so much. But I also miss the man I married, and it's all so confusing.
Oh,
I never thought I would be a 37-year-old widow, but here we are. God, you're so young. Sorry, this is so fucking depressing. The good news is that I'm trying to find myself, and by find myself, I mean that I'm seeing someone new. We're taking
okay.
it slow.
Period.
We've known each other for several years. He's a really nice guy with a huge dick, so things are looking up. I would say the good news is that
He's dead.
he died of leukemia.
That would be my good news.
And here's what I'll say is that everybody fucking gets theirs, you know? And it's annoying that he's dead because it's just like he's dead and there's nothing you can do.
But maybe it was painful and he like went out.
Right. Right. And
but no, death is too easy for something like that. Like he just
But what's hard if he was alive, he would continue the behavior. So it's like
because he would have to be 5150'd like in like a special jacket in a padded room for him to stop that, because that is absolutely diabolical.
Which would be the only way really for him to like for any justice to be served is for him to be like locked up. Or I don't know. It's just like, okay, I like hate to say it, but like I don't know, karma got his ass.
I mean, why do you hate to say it? I literally am foaming at the mouth to say that.
Well, that's what I wanted to say was glad he's dead, but we'll just say karma's got his ass. Shouldn't wish death upon anybody, but that's wild, dude.
I mean, he lived a full and fruitful life.
Lee,
okay.
No, don't.
He sure did, didn't
because
he?
here's the thing. It doesn't matter how diabolical the man is. If a man hears about someone being on their Genghis Khan shit, he's just like, well, he was breeding.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
He was getting his dick sucked. All right.
Well, that sounds like a man of my heart. No.
Dude.
Don't. Because now I'm pissed.
Dude,
and you know what happens when I get pissed.
Like the amount though of like psychological trauma that I cannot imagine this is going to cause you. Like, fuck, dude. It's given go to EMDR. Get some EMDR therapy. Damn, dude. I'm so sorry.
I'm so fucking sorry too. Okay. Okay, are we emotionally ready?
No.
Well, I don't have any like that, but here's what it is. Here's what it isn't.
Okay.
Hey, hunks and P. Crazy bitch here. One time I dated a guy and broke up with him because I like to self-sabotage. Later, I told him I didn't mean it, but he said it was too late and that it was best to be apart. I started obsessing over him, and I needed to know what he was doing. I asked a coworker if I could use her pictures to catfish someone, and she said sure. I made the most perfect Hinge profile that I knew would cater to all of his likes. I talked about breweries and dogs and all the other shit men like. The Godfather.
Oh, whoa, she's into breweries and dogs too?
You like IPAs?
We have so much in common. That's hot.
You like St. Bernards? Then we're gonna be together.
Shut. Oh my God, I just opened my jaw too wide. And I have masseter Botox. I fucked up my jaw. Okay, anyway, go on.
Well, don't ruin the Botox.
Sorry.
For the bit. Okay. And other shit that men like. I set my radius for a mile around his neighborhood and made my preferences match him and started swiping, searching for him. I didn't have to search long because he found me within an hour and tried to match. So I start a conversation with him, pretending to be my coworker. I make up a whole backstory and we flirt. I'm saying everything I know he likes.
Wait. How long have they been broken up?
Honey, it doesn't say.
Okay.
So don't even worry about that.
Okay.
Just kind of, it's like a choose your own adventure.
She broke up with him and then she was obsessed.
Yeah, well, she broke up with him. She wanted him back, and he goes, "Nah, I think we should stay apart." And she goes, "Okay, bet." And then she goes to her coworker. At least she asked for consent for the coworker.
Yeah,
I think it's fun. Okay. Anyways, female things. Okay, I set my radius for a mile around his neighborhood. We made a preference. Da da da. I didn't have to search long. He found her, and then she's flirting with him, pretending to be the coworker. Okay, I make up a whole backstory and we flirt. I'm saying everything I know he likes. Then I start to ask him about past relationships and his last girlfriend, aka me. Surprisingly, he had nothing terrible to say. It's the first time I've ever been able to honestly ask an ex what they thought about me without them being nice to not hurt my feelings. He did say some lame things like, I'm a sucker for huge tits. Enchanting. Which I found interesting because I have none. He also said he had been single for a few months when it had only been 3 weeks. Oh, there it is. The way he talked to this fake profile was so weird that it turned me off. So I made plans with him and then deleted the profile. I know something is wrong with me and I'm okay with it. Love you guys. I'm binging so hard right now. Harper, it's your fault I have started saying, ooh, wee. Gabby, keep your head up. I'm rooting for you. Lee, if you didn't leave huge shits in the toilet, I'd smash. You hear that,
You
Lee?
know, like that is unhinged, but it's also like very curiosity gets the best of us sometimes. I wouldn't do that because I would be like too afraid of getting my feelings so fucking hurt. But I do.
I was
What?
judging myself while reading it because I was like, is it bad that I don't think it's that bad?
It's not that bad.
I was like, honey, it's unhinged.
It is unhinged.
Not a creative genius prompt, but we can do that next week.
Why are you laughing?
What?
Stop. Because no,
because you're still thinking about the fucking breeder from last story, aren't you?
no. Because I just remembered that I actually left shit all over my toilet.
No, because I have to pee so bad.
Wait.
And I sprayed it with cleaning
manifested
stuff, and I
this.
forgot to scrub it.
No.
Wait,
'Cause I have
so
to
there's
pee.
actually poop
No,
in
I
your
have to pee really bad, so I'm gonna go see. No,
Wait, Lee, don't grab her!
Lee just grabbed my body.
Gabby, I didn't like
Did
that.
you see that? Lee just tried to fuck me.
Ew, you guys, I want to go home. I want to go home.
Lee just got a nice handful of my ribs.
No, Lee just got a full fucking palm full of your
Let's talk shit about him while he's fuking flushing his skid marks.
I can't believe. Here's the thing, but this is karma for us because this is what we get.
We manifested
We
it.
always say that Lee leaves shits in the toilet, and high key, you guys, he's never once done that until finally, after 2 years of making the same joke over and over and over, he finally felt like he deserved or had the gall.
He did.
To empty his fucking intestines out into the bathroom.
You better look. You can listen to him. You can hear him in there scrubbing.
Ew, Lee!
Listen,
It's cemented on there now.
You can hear him fucking scrubbing. You better not cut any of this,
Lee. This is you want to talk about unhinged? This is unhinged.
The way that we just raced each other to go to the bathroom. He fucking grabbed me, threw me across the room, and now he's in there. Vigorously
he did make good time though. He made really good time.
Fastest I've ever seen Lee.
I didn't even know he could move that fast.
I didn't know either. How was it?
It was cemented on.
You're not gonna.
You better not cut.
Wait,
literally
you're not gonna wash
any
your
of,
hands.
He didn't wash.
You just you have poop particles all over your hands.
This is a perfect unhinged fucking 100th episode. This is
also why are men allergic to washing their hands after they use the bathroom?
Because they want to give us yeast infections.
And then they try and finger you, and then you get confused as to why you have BV. It's because they literally go have a fucking poop fiesta in the damn toilet and then don't wash their goddamn fingers.
I have to fucking pee. You better not cut any of this shit, Lee.
No, Lee. Fuck you. We're keeping this all in. Welcome to hell, you guys. We're back. No, because I know your laugh, and I knew that was a sinister as fuck laugh. I knew it wasn't a sweet laugh.
I had fucking straight up explosive diarrhea for the last 2
Ew.
days.
Okay, so those of you who don't know, Lee has like a dead tooth or something, or like bad gums because he won't floss, and it causes like heart disease, which you might have, and that's also why you're getting diarrhea.
Laxatives because I'm fat, and I think laxatives gonna make me skinny.
Lee. And Gabby, why does it sound like you're frying chicken? This is coming off the rails so fast.
I did throw Gabby.
You threw Gabrielle. And you know she is like 4'9" and weighs 60 pounds, if that. Okay, not you just starting. Not you stressing her out to the point of her starting her fucking period.
Stressing her out. Tell me what. Button your pants.
You left your fucking pubic hair all over the fucking toilet seat.
Oh, whatever.
Lee.
It's better than fucking.
Oh, you want to give her attitude?
I'm buttoning my fucking
Okay, wait,
pants.
Gabby, your fucking pussy is out. Okay, both of you guys are like cut from the same mentally ill cloth.
I'm on my period.
Yeah. So,
So you come out here with your pants off.
I'm on my period. I think I'm 100 pounds right now, which is honestly so ideal.
Okay, you are sickening me. But here's what it is. Here's what it isn't. Can we get back to
Did
this?
you stop filming? Good. It's so fucked up, Lee.
Lee, I
You have
actually.
like dried pee stains all over that damn toilet seat.
Ew. What if you bring a
toilet's
girl
a
back here
Problem.
Well, he isn't.
and you
I
are,
would
and you aren't planning on killing her?
I would clean. I clean. I clean. That
Just
it's
not
never
for
that bad.
us?
I was sick
With what?
with laxatives.
Diarrhea. That's what it was.
All right, wait. Okay. Hookup choked me out. Threesome in the woods.
Great.
Okay.
Okay, now that's great.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see.
Period.
Hi, honks and pee.
Hey.
Once upon a time, about 3 or 4 years ago, I was hooking up with this guy off of Tinder. Well, I'd come over once, smoked him out, then was face fucked till he came all over my face and chest, then went home. Okay. But that isn't the fun story here. No, that's honestly
No.
not the fun story.
No, because that started converting me back.
The second and final time I went over, we went to his room for some fucking reason and laid on the bed. What do you mean you went to his room for some reason? It was obviously to have sex. You're hooking up with the guy. What?
Don't act like you're a fucking virgin.
Yeah.
Don't.
We went to his room for some fucking reason. What do you think?
What did you think? Did you think he wants to get to know you? He just fucking
course.
choked you out with his fucking kids.
Also, where did he do it? Like in his living room? And then you're like, oh, why is he taking me to his room?
This is giving teenager.
This is giving teenager.
Okay, but you know what? Even
Let's
as
see.
a virginal teenager, I still knew what the fuck was going on.
Yeah, me too.
Well, you
Um,
lost that virginity when you were in 3rd grade, but
That's so true.
know.
So yeah, I did know. We went to his room for some fucking reason and laid on the bed. Oh, it
Don't.
was to see his light show he'd set up in his room. This is giving preteen.
I don't. If you're 14, do not write into this podcast.
Yeah. Yeah.
And don't listen.
This is how I would write in my diary when I was like 10. Yeah. A lot of regrets here.
Okay, go.
So we start making out. He starts choking me, which I love, but he was choking me.
Yeah, because he wants to fucking kill you.
And I kept smacking his arm to signal to let up, but he wasn't catching my drift. I couldn't speak, and he wasn't noticing I was not happy with the situation. Eventually, he let up just as I was seeing black. Oh my God. I laid there for a minute, then said I had somewhere to be and left. I was fucked up from that one for a minute, but I'm cool now. I still like to be choked, but I refuse to put up with a motherfucker who doesn't understand how that's supposed to be done. Only thing that pisses me off still is how I bolted so quick and I forgot my bowl there. Hope you guys enjoyed. I thought about my first threesome in writing this story, and the last one I'd written in. So I'm gonna write that one hopefully quickly. When I was 17 in my senior year of high school, this is literally how I write in my journal. Well, this is how I wrote my journal when I was 11. Okay. When I was 17 in my senior year of high school, I had a huge crush on this boy, C. Okay.
You guys, if you don't start using names, I will make you go put your head in Lee's toilet.
We just started reading a story and had to cut it because it was like the person who wrote in just kept using letters and it got too fucking confusing and we were like, we can't read this.
I'm so sorry to
Use
that
names.
person.
But
don't write in like you're the Zodiac killer.
I know. And a huge crush on
Use fake names so that
use
we
fake-
can follow
literally.
along. Yeah. Or
anything.
use real names. Fuck it.
Yeah, right.
Nobody knows you.
There's
Not us
also
all getting mad.
there's
We're like,
also
"Hey,
1
bitch."
billion names in the world. Use any of them.
Yeah.
Use a single. You can make something up. I don't know. Fuckhead.
Yeah.
This
Well,
isn't also
Okay,
Joe
fine,
Rogan's
except for like
podcast.
lame names like
Kevin. I don't know.
Yeah.
No one like this podcast isn't big yet, so like you can like stop acting like when you write in like everyone's gonna know. Like literally, it's fine.
I had a huge crush on this boy, C. At my best friend's 17th party, he decided to pull me to go hook up. As we started walking, K came out of nowhere, his best friend. And I realized this was a different hookup than I expected. Soon, I was Eiffel Towering in the dark woods.
Why are you fucking in the woods so much?
Okay, she's a nature girly,
That sounds
she's
horrible.
17
I
too.
would hate.
but I wonder about your poor little knees. Like I hope your knees and your hands weren't too
Fucking
cut
in the
up.
woods is a nightmare, dude. Ew.
That's also like
it's
where serial killers
cold.
go and like. Have you ever seen a movie? That's
like-
you're gonna get killed.
There's dirt
You're
everywhere.
17. Get a car.
Blech.
When I
Okay,
say, well,
Lee.
you can't have a threesome in a car, I guess you could. When I say I came out of that situation a different bitch, my God. After that, I ended up fucking my regular hookup R in my tent. What do you mean in your tent? Where do you live? again behind the
homeless.
shack. And then made out with another guy. For some reason in high school, I was such a sexually free wild child. Def lost that energy now and wish I could have a little bit of that back. I don't. You got it all out of your system, and guess what? You don't need to do it in adulthood.
Honey, it sounds like you're good. It sounds like we need to like leave the past in the past, leave it in the woods, if you will, and don't go back in there.
The sex lives on Skid Row.
Yeah, that's literally what that was.
Okay, don't, because I know you guys are jealous of her. Okay, I have one.
Okay.
You guys ready?
Yeah.
Please stop. Okay. This one may be kind of dark, but here it goes. This happened when I was 18 and grieving the death of my dad. My mom started dating a guy about a month after my dad passed away.
What if I went boring?
We went boo. No, okay. About a month. Okay, your mom is a queen. She says this pussy waits for no one. Okay. No. Okay. My mom started dating a guy about a month after my dad passed away. My dad was sick for a long time. He was an alcoholic and passed away from liver failure. That's beside the point, though. My mom started dating a month after he passed away. After many years of marriage with my dad. I, being 18, obviously still lived with my mom and was horrified with her actions. This guy she started dating had no job, no car, and was living off of my mom, who had money from when my dad passed.
What's wrong with that?
Super shitty. Wow. Okay, because Gabby's trying to plot. Super shitty, I know. She was supporting her boyfriend with my dead father's money. Anyways, I would try and not be home as much as possible because every time I was home, he was there. We hadn't even cleaned and went through my dad's stuff and put it away yet. So me being super emotional about losing my father, told my mom she shouldn't have her... Okay. What the fuck just happened? Okay. So me being super emotional about losing my father, told my mom she shouldn't have her boyfriend sleeping in the bedroom on my dad's side of the bed with all of his things. Not your mom dressing this guy up like your dad. I bet she was like calling him his name. Grief does unspeakable things to the human mind. And I'm sorry that you saw your mom hit a bottom. Okay, my dad's side of the bed with all of his things still there and on the dresser right next to her boyfriend. It's super disrespectful. And I told her to wait until we clean and go through his stuff. And she agreed. Well, one morning I woke up and took a shower and was getting ready and heard my mom's boyfriend was in the bedroom with her. Mind you, it's 8 a.m., so it's obvious he slept in there. I open the door and start yelling for her boyfriend to get out of the bed.
Oh.
Mind you, I'm staring at all of my dad's things right next to him. He's refusing to get out like the bitch he was, and I was just getting angrier by the second. I started pulling his shirt to get him up and out of bed, and he is like holding himself down. I have never hit anyone in my life, and I just started hitting him closed fist in the face. I probably hit him like 10 times in the face. Super unhinged, I know, but my emotions were everywhere. My mom is just yelling at me the entire time, and I leave the room, grab some things, and leave. A month later, I moved out, and I didn't talk to her for over a year. I'm still trying to forgive her for things 10 years later, but I don't know if I was wrong. Was it unhinged? Was it justified? I'm going to kill my iPad. Was it unhinged? Was it justified? I don't know. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Oh, and also my mom went on to date that guy for a few years. And one day she decided to leave him, and he was an alcoholic too and drank himself to death after she left him, and his family found him in his room dead. Anyways, I love listening to the pod. I think Lee's chuckle in the background are always my fave. Gabby, you are so unapologetically yourself, and Harper, you're just that bitch. Love you guys. Love you. Okay, I have some things to say. Do you want to go first?
Her question was do you think her behavior was justified?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't think that like fucking wailing on people is ever justified, but at the same time, it's like you were really young. Your dad just died. You're mad at your mom. This fucking grown ass guy is like in your
mooching
space.
off of your mom, and it's gross.
And you're young. You don't know how to regulate your emotions. So like, I don't know. It's like, can you even blame yourself? Like, you know, it's like as an adult now, you don't behave like that. But when you're like going through that, like that's a really weird, difficult situation to navigate. How would you know how to navigate that? You just did what you were like an animal.
You're in fight or flight. Yeah, honestly, I was thinking the same thing. As someone who has had to do a lot of work on rage issues and whatnot, when you don't have the tools to express that level of disdain and frustration and hurt and sadness and confusion, you do get animalistic. And I think you just got into like a primal sense of like, I feel like you were emotionally backed against a corner because like you were like, Mom, I don't like this. And like you're still processing the death of your dad.
Yeah.
And then you have this like with love and light bum in your dad's fucking bed with your mom rolling around and then he's mooching. And so no, like look, like on paper, should you have hit him? I guess legally no. But also, are we going to judge you for something that you did when you were 18 right after a colossal loss? Also no.
And like, I would say, you know, like if you were like to readdress this as like an adult, your mom was also, you know, like just probably doing all that she knew how to do. And I'm sure that she was dealing with a lot of complicated, complex emotions.
She's in so much pain. Also, it sounds, if your mom
It's like-
keeps dating alcoholics, it sounds like she's probably Al-Anon. And
There's a lot going on there. And it's like, it's difficult because like you also want to be angry at your mom and be like, how could you do this? But it's like, it's that thing of like, it's not about you. It's like your mom is also probably, she's just a human being who's trying to figure it out too and not in the best way. It's like,
try and approach this with also, I would say, with love. Like try and have, even though like, again, of course you're allowed to be frustrated and affected by these things, but also try and have compassion for yourself for like how you were hurt as a child and also and like a young adult, and then also have compassion for your mom who also suffered a massive loss, and like who was hurting and was trying to self-soothe. And did she go about it in the best way? No, but also humans are really messy.
do any of us ever go about anything in the best way? Not really. Not unless you're a fucking monk, and even then, who knows? All of those monks were arrested for being on crystal meth in like China. So, you know, who knows? You know? All that to say, even if you're a practicing monk, you're still fucking up.
And families
So-
are really like I think a lot of issues get so convoluted with all of our baggage. And like on one hand, it's like she's your mom and like you feel like she kind of failed you in this regard. But on the other hand, your mom is also a person, and to be a person is to be messy, and we're constantly doing things imperfectly. And so I would have a gentleness with her and with yourself. And if she constantly does things that you deem inappropriate, then I would create a boundary with her, which it kind of sounds like you are. But also when we're angry, all that's affecting is, for the most part, is just ourselves. So just try and like release that any way that you can.
And then also to take a look at like why you feel like certain behaviors are inappropriate. That's something that I'm constantly being reminded that I have to look at. Like when I feel justified in my anger, it's like, well, why do I feel that way? Why do I think that somebody shouldn't behave a certain way? You know, like I'm the fucking soothsayer of how people should, you know, act. I don't know. You know, it's
Period. But here's something that's actually more important than anything.
Yeah.
What is the eyeshadow that's on your eyes?
I don't know. I got it from Ulta.
You don't know the brand?
No, not off the top of my head.
I know you're lying. I'm gonna find out.
Is it the sparkle?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got it from Ulta yesterday. I forgot.
Is that the silver tube?
Yeah.
Fuck. Okay.
Yeah. Unhinged and possibly possessed. Roommate calls cops because I won't speak to her.
Okay, now you guys just saying the full story in the subject, but also go off.
Being an actor and living in LA has led to having a few pretty unhinged roommates over the years. My first roommate out of college, let's call her Desiree because that's her fucking name.
Okay.
There we go.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Drop these names.
She was insane, and I'm not entirely convinced she wasn't possessed, but that's a story for another prompt. I moved in with this girl, having only really known her from college parties. Never move in with someone you've only partied with. That's
that is great advice.
Also,
that's great advice.
People in LA are fucking. This is a city for.
It's a town. This word is overused, but I'm going to use it here, and dare I say correctly, but this town does attract specifically a lot of narcissists and a lot of people with deep, deep, deep trauma.
Anyway, this bitch would flip on a dime. Okay, it's giving BPD.
Yeah.
Her entire personality and kind of her voice, if I'm honest, would change in an instant. The final straw was the night she called the cops on me because I didn't want to talk to her. Was it more than just not talking? Nope. Were you giving her the silent treatment for days or something? Nope.
Wait, she called the police because she didn't want to talk to her?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Was her tantrum about something completely legitimate? No, bitch. It was literally about the age of Disney princesses. Not kidding. We were having a nice evening, just having a chuckle, when somehow the subject of Disney princesses came up. I think I had an audition to play one or something, and she goes, ew, aren't they all like 13? To which I responded, no, pretty sure Jasmine's like 18 in Aladdin. Not this conversation. How is this a real conversation? And the bitch turns around and in an angry growl, yell. Okay. It's giving Twilight when they turn into werewolves.
I hate what's coming.
You've only ever heard from drunken Hollywood diva characters shouting, call my agent. I can't work like this anymore. Okay. She goes,
Why do you always have to make me wrong all the time?
she proceeds to trash the apartment like a toddler.
Okay. See, in the story that we just heard, you want to bang on Mr. Mooch. Okay. But this is not okay.
Why do you always have to make me wrong all the time?
Because she's turning into Gollum.
Okay, but to be fair, that person that like will never gives you one, like that person that it's like it's giving like super like nerd energy. It's like, well, actually, and it's like,
and she just maybe she just lost it.
Yeah,
maybe this bitch who wrote in always does this, and then she finally was just like, you always do this.
Yeah,
you always fucking rain on my fucking parade.
See, and that's
I can
the thing
never
about,
know anything.
That's the thing about a one-sided story. You guys will never fucking know.
So maybe you were always doing this.
That's the worst. I know. I catch myself doing it too, where I'm like, well, actually, and it's like, fuck, that's the worst.
Yeah, because it's giving Eckhart Tolle.
Lee, don't do that. That's really annoying.
Yeah.
No. Okay, yeah. So this wasn't my first rodeo. So I told her I needed some space, and I stepped out into the hallway to get away from her, but she followed me. I didn't want to go into the dark parking lot because we lived in a ghetto part of Van Nuys. Okay. I mean, a ghetto part. Van Nuys is fucking ghetto.
Okay, don't.
And I know that people have problems with using that word, but I mean that's what Van Nuys is. So I go back inside into the bedroom. She follows me in there. We had a week.
Now it's getting unhinged. The following around.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, this is. Yeah.
No, I think honestly, you guys were whack to not take our reader's side, but are the author's side.
We had a weak makeshift divider that made one bedroom into two because we were 21 and poor. Okay, I'm screaming.
Okay.
That shit didn't lock. I put my headphones in and told her that I didn't want to talk about this until things have cooled off because I was legit not doing this over Disney fucking princesses. She seemed to think my correcting her was indicative of a bigger problem in our friendship. She goes, no, if you want to be my friend, then we need to talk about this right now.
Okay.
I said, no, we do not. You need to give me some space. To which she said, Bethany, if you don't talk to me about this right now, I'm going to call the cops and tell them you assaulted me.
Okay, but that's a little bit funny. I'm so sorry.
I should probably take this moment to say that Desiree was Caucasian and I'm a mixture of Latina, Pacific Islander, and Caucasian. Okay, so you're giving hot.
So it's less funny now.
While I'm whiter,
so never mind.
While I'm whiter than many people on my mom's side of the family, I'm also just brown enough that a very white girl threatening to call the cops and lie that I assaulted her was pretty fucking scary for me.
That's so fucked up.
I didn't assault you, Desiree. I have bruises, Bethany, she says. Okay, this is a horror film.
No, this is legit from Lionsgate.
Legit, this girl's insane. I explain once again, look, I'm going to talk to you later, but right now we both need to cool down first. I just need some space. She flips the fuck out and says she's going to call my friend Kevin. Kevin was one of my best friends who she just had recently dated for 2 weeks and dumped the day before. Sure, please call Kevin. I texted him to give him a heads up. Bros before hoes, she calls him saying crazy made up shit about me. The whole time Kevin and I are texting, she's asking for him to come over to help her. Help her do what? Kevin gets off the phone with her and she goes ballistic on me again. I end up running into our walk-in closet because it's the only place I can actually lock myself inside.
This is horrifying, dude.
Insane.
Ew.
This is literally a horror film. Homegirl is banging on the door and I suspect throwing things at it, screaming.
Oh my God!
screaming that if I don't talk to her about this communication issue right now, we won't be friends anymore.
Oh, this woman needs medicine.
Yeah.
This is like legitimately a mental illness.
Yeah. I'm like, you think I want to be friends with you after this? This was not the first tantrum. 'Twas just the worst tantrum. Bitch was out of chances. Then I hear I'm calling the cops, Bethany, and this bitch calls the cops. At this point, I'm locked in the closet in tears on the phone with my mom, telling her what's going on. Kevin starts calling me, and my mom says to tell him to come over to be my witness for when the cops get there. It's prep time. I know that in my baggy hand-me-downs from my brothers, I don't look like a model citizen, but they're comfy. So I legit put on jeans and a sweater, put my hair back, popped out my contacts, and put my glasses on. You have all this in the walk-in closet? Nice. I'm trying to look as nerdy and harmless as humanly possible. Kevin arrives. I bust out of the closet, and Desiree literally chases me.
Ah! Jesus.
She's so scary. She's possessed. I'm tripping over my empty suitcase, which I think she was throwing at the closet door. I open the door for Kevin. She's like, oh, thank God, Kevin. She thinks he's here for her. No, bitch, bros before hoes. Kevin walks right past her and goes back into the other room with me. I now have a witness, and he is a tall, straight, clean-cut white man. Not trying to make it weird or racial, but let's be honest, it helps. Yeah, it does. My dad is also a tall, straight, clean-cut white man, so obviously no hate. The cops arrive. I'm hella nervous. They question her and then me. Kevin stays with me the whole time. Kevin's a real one. By the time I was finished telling the cops what I just told you, they asked me, is anyone here on any medication or anything like that? I said no, but she probably needs to be.
Period.
No shame to meds. I'm now on my anxiety. Okay. The next day, honestly, anxiety for what the fuck this bitch did to you.
No, this is PTSD up in here.
Right? The next day, I told her I don't care if she's on the leash. She needs to get the fuck out. After that, I heard she moved in with some other girls we knew from college. One of them was dating Kevin's roommate and eventually so freaked out by Desiree, she refused to sleep in her own apartment and was at Kevin's house at night. And was always at Kevin's house at night. So yeah, that's the story of my first completely unhinged roommate. I now live in a cute 3-bedroom bungalow with my baby brother and my boyfriend. Yes, 3-bedroom. I learned long ago, partly from Desiree, that I am someone who needs my own room with a door that I can lock and be alone whenever I want.
Period.
Damn.
Wow.
dude.
That legit was bone chilling.
That's a crazy
That's
story.
really, that's fucking unhinged.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
No matter what kind of communication there is, like from just to say like what I said at the beginning, yeah, okay, that's annoying, but it doesn't elicit this response, obviously.
Yeah, no. Honestly, I had a hard time kind of even like laughing at that because it was just like really uncomfortable and like I just didn't like that.
Sad.
That's really fucking sad. Unhinged mega cunt of a teacher versus unhinged mega cunt me. Hi, Mommy, Lee, and Uncle Gabby. Finally, someone gets it right. I have a lot of stories for this unhinged moments prompt, but this is probably one of my favorites. I'm sorry it's so long. Just to paint the picture, when I was in high school, I was a strange hybrid of Cookie Monster pajama pants girl and mean punk scary bitch.
Not the Cookie Monster pajama pants girl.
At my high school,
way
if
that
you were
paints a
wearing
picture.
Cookie Monster pajama pants, you could fight or like had knives on you. So I don't know if that's what's going on.
Dated drug dealers.
Period. And mean punk scary bitch. But either way, you could find me snorting Xanax in the bathroom during the classes I was soon to skip. I must have been sober these 2 days since I remember the story though, so that's cool. Anyway, I'm from Atlanta, but went to one of those suburban high schools where every bitch looked like that Christian Girl Autumn meme and went off to join sororities and marry their ugly ass, sweaty ass high school boyfriends before having a baby named LaKaylee or some dumb shit. Being from the South as well, Harper should know exactly what I'm talking about. And I fucking do. And my Instagram page is, whenever I scroll, it's haunted. Okay. Well, there was a teacher at my high school. We'll call her Miss H, not the name, or not the letters again. Miss H,
I know,
who was the epitome of that image I painted for you. Like she had obviously peaked in high school and decided to become a teacher just to chase that high for the rest of her life. Miss H would befriend the popular kids. I hated teachers that did that. There was always like a gross desperation there.
Mm-hmm.
Because they weren't popular.
No,
Or maybe they were.
Maybe they were. But it's one of the two, right? So it's either they weren't popular and like they're chasing that acceptance. Or they were popular and they're chasing. They're Matthew
Trying to
McConaughey
relive.
and Dazed and Confused.
That
Yeah,
You know
makes
that
more
she
sense.
wears like those like beige knee-high boots with like a knitted white sweater.
That's her.
Literally
exactly what you're describing.
uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Period. Okay, let's get into it, you guys.
it's giving Big Little Lies.
Yeah. Miss H would befriend the popular kids described above with rich Republican parents, and it became strangely cliquey. They probably all lived in the same neighborhood and went to the same country club and church and whatnot. Who knows? Who cares? One day, the school had a fire drill. It was a nice morning. I was wearing shorts, some big-ass t-shirt, and most importantly, some of those knockoff Ugg slippers. The slippers with a thick sole that looked like slippers but easily acted like a slip-on shoe, pick attached. Well, of course, during this fire drill, Miss H was chatting with her favorite populars. During this, a nice, regular factory setting girl came up to me and was like, "Hey, Miss H and those students are kind of talking shit about your shoes, saying you look frumpy and whatever." Which immediately enraged me because, like, girl, leave the bullying to the students. Don't join in. Like, what? LOL. Also, I've never had Miss H as a teacher. We didn't know each other, never spoke a word to each other. Like, what a weird bitch for instigating and participating in this shit talking sesh with students against me, an innocent stranger.
That's so inappropriate.
Yeah, no. Also, I really like your writing. Just to preface this next part, I could give less of a fuck about my shoes. At this point, I'm pissed off at the principal of the situation. So after the fire drill was over and everyone went back inside, I waited in the bathroom until enough time had passed for everyone to be settled back into class. I then roamed the hallways until
This is plotting.
I then roamed the hallways until I found this bitch's classroom. I'm not gonna lie, I was nervous as fuck. But I walked into the room and up to her desk. All eyes on me, baby.
No.
I asked her if she had a fucking problem with my outfit, specifically my shoes. And she looked...
You fighting a teacher.
Just wait. And she looked taken aback before stuttering out that they're not real shoes. I took one off my foot and knocked on the sturdy sole with my knuckles, making an obvious noise indicating that I'm not just vibing around in house slippers. I told Miss H that she shouldn't be talking shit about students with other students and blah, blah. I don't know. I think I blacked out at this point. I then took a pen on her desk and chucked it onto the floor before walking out. I don't know why I did that, LMAO. My favorite part was that throughout all of that, her students are just watching this interaction like, whoa. I went about my day waiting to be called to the principal's office, but never did. Realizing that Miss H didn't want to get in trouble herself, but this fucking bitch did get her revenge. The next day, I'm in class when the principal and 2 fucking cops come in asking for me. Of course, all the kids in my class are like, "Oh shit. I guess your girl just had everyone shook that week." Anyway, they take me outside to the student parking lot where I see a motherfucking canine unit sniffing my goddamn car. I'm so mad that I start to rage cry. Of course, they force me to unlock my car where they find empty beer cans, makeshift weed pipes, powdery straws, the whole 9 yards. Of course, I got into big trouble. But all that court shit is so boring, so I'll leave that out. At least I was a minor, though. Clean record now, baby. Anyway.
What a bitch.
That's disgusting. Anyway, I know that mega cunt Miss H set me up.
Yeah.
Probably thinking that if the principal knew I did drugs, he'd take any report I had against Miss H with a grain of salt. I don't know, but I still hate that bitch to this day.
Damn.
I'm now a teacher myself. Oh my God, honey. Wow.
Stop.
I'm now a teacher myself, finishing up my art education degree and just dying to get hired at a high school. My classroom will be a safe haven for students, and our slogan will be "Burn in Hell, Miss H."
Yeah, hell yeah.
I attached pictures. Miss H pictured with a furry that she probably lets fuck her. Me in high school, me now, just for fun, and the goddamn slippers. I love you 3 so much.
That's so...
Okay, so Miss H does look like a massive cunt.
She looks like a stupid white fucking...
Oh, okay. I love you.
Yeah, you're so cool.
You're so cool. Oh my God, wow.
Yeah, you're cute, cool.
You are really gorgina. You have a really cool sense of self and a sense of style.
Yeah, and you're wearing those Ugg things.
And you're really beautiful. And these, which are fine.
Classics.
Literally wear those around the house. Okay, and wear them out if I want to. But
they're
wow.
very trendy, I get. Well, okay, anyway, fuck her. Dude, that's so, that's so fucking like invasive and lame. And then I also forget that like high school teachers, I mean, actually Miss H looks like she's in her fucking, I don't know, mid 40s. But I also forget that like teachers can be like 23 years old. And it's like, can you imagine being a 23-year-old in charge of 18-year-olds? You know what I mean? Like, you're the
Yes, but
same
like
fucking
that's not
age.
this scenario
No,
though.
it's not. It's, I mean, seeing what she looks like, this bitch is like 40, but I was just thinking about that throughout the story
Yeah,
of how
but
like you can be a 23-year-old teacher. And
check
it's
this out.
crazy.
So it say you get out of high school, you're the popular girl, right? And then you start teaching and you're young, and then you're just always around kids that are the same age. So then you don't change mentally. So
Right,
even
it
though she might
stunts
be in her
you.
40s, she is still mentally in the same place as when she's like graduated high school.
But I don't
essentially.
know because like one of my friends is a teacher and,
No,
and
that's
he's
not the
and
case
he's
for all
not like and
teachers.
he teaches high school and he's not like that.
Mhm.
So I do think it also pertains to like your ability to like move past things
This
Well,
bitch
in
just
life.
sucks.
for the person who wants to stay in that, though.
Well, yes, no,
Yeah.
totally.
And stay in
like
that
if you're like a
gossipy-
chaser, like this
Yeah.
woman was. Another
Yeah.
thing I mean, we kind of were just unpacking it, but a lot of kids have like bad home lives and like no shade, no tea to you, but like if you're doing a bunch of drugs in high school, clearly you're like, yes, you're trying to have fun, but like clearly you're also looking for an escape. So like to be a teacher and to like not provide a place of solace, I think that's like a crime in general, but I just think that's just to me that's just really heartbreaking that like you're already making the student have such a harsher time, like with like joining in on bullying. Stand up, bitch. Like I don't care
To do
what you're
that-
doing to or what you're going through, but don't lower yourself to fit in with children who need to like you need to set the example.
And then to call the cops. Like, what a miserable
Oh, shut the fuck
fucking
up. And if I
bitch.
hear one more fucking bitch about calling the cop, just like get a new fucking hobby.
Miserable bitch. All right. The
I
most
bet her pussy's dry. Okay, go.
It is for sure. The most
Period.
unhinged family, pedophiles, Nazis, and more. Well, you got my attention.
Okay, because well,
I've written to you guys a couple times, but sadly nothing has been read. Well, it's because you got to title things like that.
yeah, you gotta, don't come for us.
Mm-hmm. A basic rundown of my family. On my father's side, my grandpa is a murdering pedophile,
Okay,
and my grandma is also a psychotic pedophile that molested her kids. But everyone seems to forget that part nowadays. And of course, my father is also a pedophile.
okay,
A legacy.
honey.
You
Can't
come
wait to
from
see what you grew up to be,
quite
honey.
the
Okay.
legacy. My
Yikes.
mom is a narcissistic monster, but my grandpa, on her side, died when I was 8. Spoiler alert, that was the last good memory I had of my childhood. And my grandma was a really cool hippie. Okay, so those grandparents are cool on your mom's side, but your mom's a narcissist. But her parents, my great grandparents, were Nazis. ... No, but okay, wow, that's wild. Okay, so you're great. Yeah, okay. I recently wrote to you guys last week as one of the most life-altering moments started happening to me. I found out that the company my father was going to use as a front to take me down to Mexico what, was actually made into a real company after I lost my trial against him. And my sweet mother had started to secretly work at said company.
Oh my wait, I kind of remember us reading something about this on Patreon a few weeks ago.
God, I don't. Okay. Basically, I started to find all this information out after my pedophile dad decided it was time to come back into my family's.
And the mom was like letting him come back into her life.
Oh, right.
Remember?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. No, the story went hard.
Right. Okay.
Fuck,
After
I'm
my
so sorry, girl.
pedophile dad decided it was time to come back into my family's lives, but buying everyone a campsite / RV. My
Don't.
grandpa and sperm donor had, I guess, started a side hustle business of RV parks, ? And now I guess my mom and stepdad are a part of the business. Fast forward to a couple days ago, my mom and stepdad get really drunk with his friends and they assault her. I don't know if I can really fully believe it because it seems like really perfect timing to get sympathy for your children that resent you, and fled to the cabin, only to forgive and push everything under the rug. I don't know if this is unhinged enough, so I'll add a couple of fun ones. I mean, that is pretty fucking unhinged.
I mean, you got us.
I wish there was like more. I wish like there's so much there. I want to know like more details. My mom tried to drown me when I was 5 as a party trick.
Okay, what is going on?
It's a really funny party trick. The Coast
It's a
Guard.
crowd pleaser.
Yeah. The Coast Guard was called on my father and I because he took me across the ocean in a small paddle boat so he could fuck me on an island away from my family.
Jet setter.
Is that true? Is that true? It's also like a lot of effort. A
What
paddle boat?
what island? Was it like,
Also, like,
was
what
it like
island?
Catalina? Was
Like
it
how?
like
Yeah, what?
a Hawaiian island?
What do you? So
A
what?
Cayman
What
island?
kind of paddle boat?
Was it like a banana boat?
Yeah, like how close?
Canoe?
Right. Fuck me on an island away from my family.
What was the convo like after?
My mom refuses to tell.
Is your mom jealous?
All right, I have a lot of questions.
Me too. And none of them are good.
Yeah.
Sorry.
My
that
mom,
happened
and
to
if
you.
it is Hawaii, lucky. My mom refuses to tell me my mom refuses to tell my little brother he's actually my sister's and I's half brother. My stepdad isn't even 30 yet. I'm 24, and they've been together 8 years, almost 9. Okay. My mom killed my grandma
Okay.
by trapping her in a cage until she went mentally insane. What? But didn't you say that earlier?
The grandpa, not the grandma.
My grandpa
The
on her
grandma.
side died when I was 8. Okay,
yeah.
and my grandma was a cool hippie. And your mom killed her by trapping her in a cage until she went mentally insane.
Maybe a
It's
different one.
giving
Maybe.
Showtime. It's giving Lifetime, and it's
giving you're just writing things in with your eyes closed and seeing
giving
what.
ChatGPT wrote this in.
Yeah, it's giving Siri, center button in Siri.
Mm-hmm.
Except I don't want to.
It's giving you're just saying the craziest things to be like, they're gonna read this, right? Anyway, this is crazy though. If this is real, I can't. My grandpa has dead bodies in his background.
Backyard.
Maybe backyard. In his backyard, my sister stumbled upon when grape picking. What do you mean stumbled upon?
Okay, you know what it sounds like? What's that movie with all the little boys?
Out of the fucking
Stand By Me. It sounds like the plot. It sounds like like the tethered version of Stand By Me.
The
I
fuck
want to
is
see a dead body.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
There's just so much
That's
more.
a great movie.
Let me know if you want any more crazy stories.
We don't.
No,
Okay, here's
yes.
here's one to end
we're
on.
gonna end on.
Okay, you guys. All right, Gab, tap in.
Okay.
I gave my girlfriend's brother pink eye with his sister's poop.
That's a good one.
I'll make this short and sweet.
Okay.
Xmas break 2014. Playing Xbox in the basement with my girlfriend's now wife, 12-year-old brother. Girlfriend comes to the top of the stairs and hollers, "Hey, can you come help me wrap some presents?" Except she doesn't need help with the presents. We were in her room and I put my thumb in her ass doggy style.
Okay.
I forget to wash my hands. Go back to playing video games. My controller dies. I'm a PlayStation guy, so I don't know how to take the battery pack off right away. So my girlfriend's brother says, "Here, just trade me." 3 days later, the kid gets pink eye. Merry Xmas.
Okay.
And that is
Okay.
an enchanting tale.
Yeah, it sure is.
Okay, you guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed this episode. We really missed you and we're so happy to be back. As always, if you like this podcast, or most likely if you hate this, tell someone, honey. Please tell a friend. Tell someone who is a victim of your unhinged behavior. Send this to Miss H. Send this to whoever. Every week, the prompts are going to come out on Instagram. Our Instagram is 420. Oh, sorry, just kidding. Our Instagram is teatime42069. And we always release the prompts a little bit early on Patreon. We do 4 extra episodes a month. We did just take some time off, but baby, we are back. And yeah, the email address, if you would like to submit a story, which are always kept anonymous, is teatimestories42069@gmail.com. Thank you guys so much for listening and for writing in. And
See
that's really
ya
that.
next week.